And we're live. It's Whiskey Watches Wheels, and I am the phenomenal Matt Green. Boys, introduce yourselves.
I'm Casey.
I'm James.
I'm the kooky Kevin.
The kooky Kevin. How you guys doing tonight?
I was better before I heard Kooky Kevin.
It's all good, right?
Oh,
I've had a fucking week.
that's a keeper.
I was on vacation last week, and this week has been crazy, but nonetheless, we'll get through it. So, so anybody want to buy maybe like a 15-year-old miniature dachshund, because I'm about to kill my fucking dog?
No,
So-
nobody
so-
wants that shit.
Last night, I grabbed a shower. Stacy and Grace had gone somewhere. I don't fucking know where. Bryce was working. I go upstairs, grab a shower, come downstairs, and I'm making my lunch for today. It was last night. And I'd let the dogs go out, the bathroom and everything before I went to get a shower. So I'm making some chicken salad. I'm trying to work on my fitness and everything, and I go to throw part of the onion away in the trash can. Fucking step in a pile of dog piss, slip, bust my ass. I'm laying in the fucking dog piss, right? Fucking cursing, about ready to kill this fucking dog, right? So then I'm like, fuck, I got, dog piss on me. I got freaking, my chicken salad
And you were
over on the
naked.
counter.
You were naked once and the dog started fucking you.
No,
I knew it.
no. But then I'm like, fuck. So then I had to go upstairs, take another fucking shower, get changed again, come downstairs and mop the fucking floor, clean up the dog piss, and then finish making my damn lunch. And then Stacy gets in. It's like, 10:30 at night. She goes, "You're still up?" Because I go to bed early. And I'm like, "Yes, here's what happened." So I was not happy and about ready to chuck a 15-year-old dog. So that's how my evening went.
That sounds fun.
It was something. I'll put it that way.
Me and James are the only ones that don't have pets.
Yeah, well, listen, at least my dogs are small, and again, I have good dogs. I have a 15-year-old miniature dachshund, so she's this big, this big. And then I got a 7-year-old King Charles Spaniel, so she's small as well. I don't have horses like Casey does. Casey's got
my dog.
You know what's
dogs.
really cool is when I want to go on a trip, you know what I do? I put my house alarm on and I leave.
Yeah. Well,
This is the downside of having pets. It is
no
kind of
doubt.
annoying.
Yeah.
There's an
that is
upside, I get
probably a
that.
child. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so at least my kids are old enough now that when we don't go together as a family, they can stay home, they can watch the dogs, that kind of stuff. But when we go on a family vacation, all of us gone, I have to budget in an extra $500 to $700 for freaking boarding every time we go on a trip. So it is a pain in the ass. My Riley, the dachshund's getting up there in age. She's not got, I keep joking around with the family that she's not knocking on heaven's door.
Did you ever, did you ever think about having people come to the house? No, well,
Every day. No.
that's option B. Well, I'm thinking is option A is maybe you have people come to the house to watch them and walk them and then put them in a comfortable position. It winds up being a hell of a lot cheaper. They're eating your
probably
food,
so. It probably
all
is.
of
We
that
usually
stuff.
board them at our vet, so we get a little bit of a break, because especially with her being older, although she's in great shape, you wouldn't know that she was 15. God forbid something goes sideways, she's there at the vet. But yeah, no, we've never,
So
thought about it.
This dog talk, does that fall under whiskey, watches, or wheels? I'm trying to figure
I don't
out.
know. It falls under Matt busting his ass, slipping in damn dog piss is what it falls under. So
That was
fall
a good
being
waste
the
of
pun.
3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So
You
so
dicks.
that's all right. So we're going to talk about rallies tonight because other than myself, everyone's been on a rally over the last 2 weeks. I don't have a fun life. So I don't know who wants to start. Fuck it,
Go to the two Ruckus people. They did the same thing.
Yeah, well, they're the cool kids. They have air-cooled Porsches. We have water-cooled Porsches, though. We're not can't
Well,
attend
we
those
actually
things.
have both, but
Well, that's true. Like I said, we're not cool kids. So out of the four of us, freaking Casey has 3 Porsches. All right, Kevin's got 3 Porsches.
Casey's got 3 Porsches?
Yes, he's got a freaking 2 Caymans.
Oh.
I mean, two Cayennes.
Oh,
Those don't count.
yeah.
Oh, shut up, you
Got
ass.
a crest on the hood. So
Okay.
so everyone's.
Yeah.
I only got one. I got one. That's all I got.
That's fine.
That's all I need. Gets me where I need to go.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
All right,
Let's start
talk some
somewhere.
Ruckus.
Yes, talk Ruckus.
Give the deets.
Well, for those listening, what is fucking Ruckus? Because if they ain't got an air-cooled Porsche, they ain't gonna know what the fuck Ruckus is.
Well, I'm new to it, so I'll just fill in little spots. James can kind of. I know James isn't very good at telling stories, so I'll fill in the spots where he misses. I'll jump in.
He's great
okay,
at
so,
telling stories as long as you don't mind them being monotone.
All right,
okay,
go ahead, James.
so we
You all are on one
okay,
tonight.
so
Dude,
Ruckus
one of
is
the
in
nights.
Roanoke, Virginia. I think it's fourth year, I believe. So that's a Charles Stanley rally, and it's good. It's good. And the Virginia roads are kind of cool.
God, I
and
hate it
they're
when I'm right.
Twisty.
What's that? No, we're just busting your chops, man.
I think he's doing
No,
it on
so
purpose.
Yeah, of course.
this is year 4, and it's at the Roanoke Inn, which is a really cool hotel in downtown
Roanoke Hotel,
Roanoke.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's right on the railroad track, so I guess it was one of those railroad hotels back in the day. So it has some history. It's got a great bar, so there's a good gathering place. Typically, there's a wedding or a conference going on.
Or Volvo conference.
Yeah. Yeah, we were a little bit worried because there was a Volvo dealership conference, and when we got there, they all showed up at the same time. Like literally, there were 100 people trying to check in at once, and then they started just drinking and pushing us all out of the bar. So we're like, wow, this is going to be a problem. But in the end, it wasn't. So I think our timing was off. So we were there at the bar when they were doing their little conference stuff. But I like going to this one because it's pretty chill. The roads are very cool. They're different than, say, Target, Carolina in the North Carolina mountains because there's a lot more switchbacks in North Carolina. And in Virginia, they were a little bit more sweepy. So you can get those tight twisties, but there's a lot of fun roads to hit and not a lot of traffic. We didn't really hit a lot of traffic. There were a few places we had to go through some small towns, but it was good. And, it was really interesting. I was a group leader this year, so I led, and we started with 9 drivers. And in the end, it wound up being 4. And
wow.
It
You
was
were
good.
that of a leader?
No, I think we're just driving a little too spirited.
I think it wound up. I think in the end, it wound up being about your pace, where people want to be comfortable, and that's great. So you can see here the weather wasn't great. It rained on and off, and it didn't stop us. We still had a blast, but we were just a bit more cautious, and we had 0 incidents, thankfully. There were maybe a few mechanicals. I think an engine or 2 was blowing. If I
there's like
if I'm
4
correct,
cars
Kevin,
that
correct?
ended up. Yeah, 4 cars that ended up going on a home on a trailer.
Yeah. So what's interesting is the group of 4 here that we wound up having in our run group wound up being the same run group that we had in Florida for Gator Crawl. So it was good. We got a chance to go out on the Franklin County Speedway again. We did this last year, which was really cool, with some hot dog vendor, which was really neat. It rained, but it stopped raining. We were able to get out there and rip around a little bit within reason. So I went out there with Kevin, and we have some videos.
What kind of people did you meet in Franklin?
Well, this year we didn't meet
nice people.
Yeah, this year we didn't meet any, really, except for the few people at the track. There was supposed to be practice for the weekend, which happened last year. So there were a ton of cars last year going out there ripping in just these crazy beaters, but they were going nuts. And this year it just wound up being for us.
Franklin is a kind of a spot in Virginia that you can meet some interesting folk from
the most
Franklin.
Interesting people.
Yeah.
Fun fact, people from Franklin have on average 4 teeth, and the corn
These are
dog.
my people. Be nice.
The corn dog is the
breakfast of champions.
Breakfast of champions, yeah, the main meal.
Kevin, are you headed off the road here or turning back around? Or
this is a good story.
No, so at one point we were both using so Dave and I from Sonderworks, who was a sponsor for Ruckus, we used one app, and then Kevin and Liam used another app. and there was this constant chatter that we were going the wrong way, but it all matched up and it all worked in the end. But we got to literally a point in the road where we went right, and then Liam's like, no, this is wrong, we have to go left. And then Kevin was using the same app as Liam, so Kevin's like, yeah, fuck y'all, we got to go left. So this is Kevin turning around to go with Liam. And the funny part is that there's a cow pasture separating us, and I can hear Kevin's car putts all the way over there, put.
Talking shit the whole time.
Talking shit. So we get there, we're standing outside the car, and I hear Liam going, where, and you hear put, yelling like, because we don't know what we're doing. Yeah. Then all of a sudden the car goes silent. He turns the car off, and then we could just hear them yelling about Dave and I going the wrong way across this cow pasture. And then all these cows came up to us, and they're like, hey, you going to feed us? And then we're like, we got nothing.
I think
for
they were
you.
there
And
like,
they
hey, those guys are talking shit about you.
Well, then they all just started defecating right there. I'm like, okay, it's time to leave. That's when we got in the car, turned around, and went and followed over to Liam and Kevin.
As over on the walkie-talkie, they're going, so are you going to come over, or what the hell's going on? We're right. And then Liam's like, they're going to be bullheaded. And I'm sure they could hear everything we're saying. I'm like, I don't know, man. This is my first rally. And he's like, I got the map right here. I'm using my odometer, and I'm using this. And I'm like, okay, I'm just like the new kid here. And they're like,
going across the field, it was just rah, 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 rah. It was great.
So we just waited, and he's like, just turn off your car, because I'm sure they're going to come when you don't come. I'm like, either that or they're going to take off. One of the two. He's like, they're not going to take off. And then Liam's like, I don't know. I think they took off. I'm like, nope, I hear their cars. I think they're coming.
Yes. Because I yelled across the field. I said, we can hear you. So in the end, we're like, okay, let's give this a shot. And we turned around, and all was good. At some point, you just have to give in.
Sounds like that's the first year of Farron. Together.
Exactly. So,
and the thing is it would have took us to the same road, which that road was terrible anyways. It was 4 miles of big gravel, which I busted my AC line on that. I think Liam almost burns clutch out on a switchback going uphill. I backed down, and I don't know how much rocks I threw on James' car. Because I took off, because I was like, well, I'm not going to spin out like that. So I took off, and he's like, what the hell? You threw rocks all over me. And I'm like, sorry, man.
Why did going up a hill almost burn a clutch out?
Because gravel. It was a gravel switchback, pretty steep. Probably I don't know.
So what, are you feathering it all the way up, or what?
No. What happened is if you stop or lose momentum, and that's exactly what Liam did. He had lost momentum just trying to figure out what we're doing and trying to avoid these, stones.
So you couldn't gain traction to try to get back up.
Yeah. So in order for him to get going, he had to let it rip, and he just you could smell the clutch. But in the end, it all worked out.
That was actually a good day, because it did not rain that day. Really good. We did a lot of ripping that day. What I liked about West Virginia is, this Rally Cups. About West Virginia is there's not a lot of houses like there is in North Carolina and South Carolina and in the mountains. It's kind of, you don't have people jumping out, up speeding and stuff. So
jumping out with pitchforks and hose and threatening you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we started this tradition with the Rally Cups out in Texas. So we brought these to Virginia, and
so you put a shot of whiskey on the bottom, which Casey Bucal, that was Evan Williams, bottled and bonded.
Yes,
it was
Modella.
Nice.
It was, and it goes down quite smooth. And James and Dave were handing them out to patrons, and then the cops came, and I was like, okay, and they're like, oh no, I'm like, it's private property, man. But they wanted us to go to a local car show at 9:00 in the morning.
We missed
it. Probably some, I don't know, a bunch of donks and.
And I'm sure you said, "Oh yeah, we'll be there."
Yeah, that's exactly.
Exactly.
So running in the wet, in the mud, in the gravel. I mean, the cars were just covered. My gold rims, they were just brown in the end. So just a mess.
Oh yeah, there it
But
is.
Love it.
But in the end, there were 9, and we ended with 4, and that was the 4 of us with
There you
myself,
go.
Liam, Kevin, and Dave. So
I
Yeah.
appreciate that a couple, bowed out. If that's not the right run group, then
Absolutely.
find your pace and stay safe.
I 100% agree with that. Not offended at all. Sometimes we talk about, do we need to slow down and just take more breaks and things like that? And I don't know, our personalities are just kind of go, go, go. So that's how we enjoy the rallies. And there's nothing wrong with stopping. There's nothing wrong with taking your time. And there's nothing wrong with a touring group or a ripping group. So whatever makes you feel comfortable and get a great experience, you do it.
Well,
So
and there's room for everybody. I mean, I know even in our own
Yes.
personal little 4 group here, I make no bones about being the slowest, and I usually hang out in the back. And I'm fine with that. I have no ego. I'm not there to prove anything. I'm here to have a good time.
So, and that's what my take was. So I'll give a little recap on my level. So I guess from what everyone said, Ruckus is a feeder for, what's it called, James? What's the other one?
Target Carolina.
Target Carolina. So you have to have an air cooled 993. So that's a 1999 or older Porsche, only air cooled. It's invite only. Not that it's like none of us are like, it's like a pumps group. They just want to make sure that, hey, you're not going to have a bunch of assholes. It's all like-minded people. So I got invited by the grace of James and a couple other people, James
And
Mike
yeah.
and Sonderworks. They vouched for me, so I got to go. I have never driven in the mountains with this other than like a TDI Jetta. Never driven a manual car in the mountains. Never driven, never been to a rally on an air cooled. So quite different on my particular car. You have to be at the way these guys run, second and third gear at 5,500 RPMs the whole time. I did get there early. I got there on a Thursday, so I went up with a bunch of guys that had 964s, or they had a G body with a 993 motor swap, which is about 250 plus horsepower. I only have like 210. And these guys can go 150 miles per hour, which, okay, that doesn't sound very fast, but let's face it, these are
That's
just
fast.
Volkswagens.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
150 is
well-
fast. Well,
yeah,
you
but
got to
it's-
remember Kevin with his GT3 150 is not very fast, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, when you're going, and you're not hitting 150, but you're hitting 100, 110 miles per hour on basically, from what I feel and how it felt for me was driving one of my like fast Volkswagens. I mean, granted, it did, and I have fifth gear, but you're never in fifth gear. So I rode with them on Thursday. I kind of kept up with them, but I did have to radio them and say, hey, you guys got to slow down because I only have a 3.2, especially in those straightaways. They're doing a $130, $140. I can't do that. I just couldn't do that. So that's kind of the things where James says, hey, you kind of have to know, like, hey, I'm not going to, first time I rode with James, they were like, are you going to be in our run group? Mike and that group one, which they're kind of the hot boy group. And I was like, no, I'm just going to, actually, I thought I was going to ride in the touring, like the group number 8, like beginning level. And James and Dave were like, don't worry about it. You're going to be fine. Which, when you have a group of guys that are motivating you and saying, hey, you're good.
But
You
you've
can
driven
drive.
with us. You know how
have,
we
yes.
drive. You know when we're going to brake. You know when we're not going to
Yeah.
brake. You know when we're just
Yep.
going to take the sweeper. So
Yep.
there's something to be said about that, is the familiarity. So one of the things with going to many of these is that you wind up running with the same people. You may meet a bunch of new people, but you run with the people you're comfortable with because, you just want to be familiar and understand what's
Yeah,
going to
you don't
happen,
want people
right?
brake checking. Yeah, you kind of know what people are going to do, and like James said, you don't know the experience of people. And why I didn't have any air cooled or manual experience, I definitely have plenty of experience, either on a track or in a on a
Yeah, and
992
here's the
or
thing is
991 or whatever.
you were running behind me in this air cooled rally, but in the water cooled, I'm running behind you. So
Right.
it's just a matter of the car that you have, the comfort level that you have, and
Mhm.
making sure
Yeah,
that you're good and comfy.
yeah, yeah. So it was pretty neat. Like Charles did an excellent job. How everything's put together. His goodie bag that he had. I mean, 2 shirts, stickers, decals,
Windshield cleaner.
windshield
Yeah.
wiper with a microfiber, some pop rocks, which I stole some extra ones that he had laying around for my daughter. Um, it was very. I mean, how he's very meticulous. Very nice. You know, he had a PA system. So I mean, he's done this before. I was very impressed with that. I went and mingled and tried to talk to as many people as I could. Didn't seem clicky at all.
No,
You know, there were a
not at
couple
all.
groups that were like that, but for the most part, it's very like I and James and a lot of other people. We try to talk to other people just to get to know them. Especially me because I was trying to like peddle parts. I mean,
Yeah.
I gave away some parts too at the rally. Charles was kind enough to let me do, you know, a giveaway and stuff. So that was pretty neat. And my part was like the 4th one to be chosen. I guess we have at dinner on Saturday, they have a drawing, and then it's basically a table, buffet of parts that people donated. And the first one, actually, I won. Let's see what I got here. I won. I was the number 3 winner. Number 2 was
Somehow
C-Tech
our whole
Oh, sweet.
bag with a charger. I guess like let's see. I have it still in here with a charger. That's yeah, like which I was gonna get one of
Nice.
these.
Dude,
This was
that's
like-
a great. That's the charger that I use, and
Yeah.
what I like about it with the 911 is that you can actually plug it into the cigarette lighter. It
Yeah,
charges.
you can't
Yeah.
do that on a 992 though.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
The
what's
Yeah,
great-
997
I have-
baby, you can.
Yeah.
I have this. I have it. I have the same one, but the Porsche brand, and you could do it on 991, but you can't do it on 992. You have to actually put it to
Okay.
a post. And but
Yeah, that's what
I
mine's
needed-
the Porsche
I
brand
needed
one as
one.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed one. So that was really cool. Dinner was good. It was fish, or right? It
Where
was
did
fish
you
or
all eat?
chicken.
We-
We ate
we
at the
usually-
hotel
yeah.
for the
Over there.
dinner.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, so there's a courtyard, and that's typically where we would be, but the weather didn't allow that, so we had to move it inside. But you
Well,
had
next
your
time-
choice of a few
Next
different
time you
options.
ought to let me give you some food options if you're open to it or going off campus. 'Cause
Well,
there
we
are some-
weren't.
we did.
Yeah, and we were. Our lunches were provided by sponsors, so we had a Mexican
Okay,
restaurant
okay.
and a pizza place.
What
Mhm.
which
Mexican
is-
restaurant do you know? You remember?
Oh gosh,
Tuco's?
no.
Was it a
It
garage?
was-
It was
No,
like
no,
in the
this-
back. No, it was in West Virginia or Virginia.
Oh,
like-
oh,
it was
okay,
out there.
okay.
yeah, it
yeah.
was. It was that. That was
on
like
the route.
Yeah, in Verona. Okay, I guess I can help you. Not
No.
not
No,
at
I
Alice.
went to. We went to a sushi place, which I refused to eat sushi on a landlocked state.
Good call.
So we did that. You guys ate at a nice place, James.
Yeah.
Steak place, I think.
Yes, yeah, right over the bridge downtown. There's a place that's been there forever, type of thing.
Yeah, I like it. You can
Yes,
walk
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
the little
good.
downtown area is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was
So-
cool.
Yeah, what's interesting is that you do a few of these and you start seeing the same people and you just become familiar with them. You have a bigger group each time, right? So this was Kevin's first Ruckus, but you already knew at least 10 people from
Yeah, it's not
Florida.
more. Yeah.
Well, we get a
Right.
lot of bleed over on these rallies, so
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
between Foreign and Gator Crawl, doing this
Mhm.
one, you had wasn't
Yeah,
like you were
plus, I
walking
mean-
into foreign
Yeah, plus my
territory.
friends. I mean, Mike, Todd,
Yeah.
and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And
Absolutely.
I will say this. So you know how we guys prepared our rally bags. I will tell you that it definitely I had to use mine, not for myself, but to help another guy with Dave at Sonderworks, another guy that was his motor was making noise. So I wanted to get my tool bag that I thought I had. I had a rally bag, but not a tool bag. I thought I had it, but it apparently was another Porsche. So these tools, anyway, I didn't have one. I helped take a belt
what you're
off.
saying is we need a part 2 on the rally bag.
We
Rally
do need
bags
a
are
part
ever
2 for
evolving.
sure. And
Yes.
I will tell you, if you don't have a Porsche tool bag, the Porsche tools are astronomically expensive. A spanner wrench for the alternator is $100. The spark plug, special spark plug tool is $100. I was trying to piece mine together with some motorcycle kit parts, and there's another number 13 in motorcycle kit. Anyways, I bought a little cheap one, and I'm gonna make a tool bag with actually sockets and wrenches, because nobody likes to use open end. They're just knuckle busters anyways.
And then we're going to put whiskey watches and wheels embroidered on it.
Yeah.
And then
laser
order them
engraved.
up.
Yeah, so when I came back, I was instantly on Amazon looking for parts for a tool bag.
Mhm.
And then my buddy Bert said, Kevin, what are you doing wasting money? Just go and buy a toolkit from Amazon, Metric Toolkit. I will tell you, though, if anyone's listening to this, there's a company, I think it starts with an S.
We hope there are.
Starters, I think.
Stoddard.
They actually make a toolkit for like 200 and something bucks that has reproduction tools that you can get with a Porsche bag. And instead of buying, I mean, I paid $200 for 2 tools. I should have just looked, but I didn't know. So I'm trying to think. We didn't have to use any fix-a-flats tire stuff. That was good. We used our compressors. We used plenty of the window wipes.
For the record, it's Stoddard, Stoddard.
Yes, yes. I did have a leaky windshield that was pouring in, and I ran a microfiber. James helped me with that, and I busted my Freon, my Freon line. So that's going to cost me $800. The windshield's going to cost me $700. I'm going to have $3,000
repairs.
Well, and
my
and
car's
really,
dialed, and I just
well,
ripped.
Yeah, exactly. You just got that car, literally had it less than a month, and turned around and drove how many miles from Florida to West Virginia?
I've 30. I've had the car for, I think I counted it, 84 days since Amelia, and I put over 3,500 miles on it.
Nice.
Mine was, I've never driven in the rain.
Mhm.
It was just coming from the bottom. It's OEM, probably original window. They dry rot, and then the gravel road just busted right. I mean, I must have hit a rock and it busted, and I just got that Freon refilled, and my AC was blowing cold, which was great when we were driving up to Atlanta. We did a pit stop, and I used my AC. So, like I said, $800 for lines plus whatever labor is going to be. But
Life is good with AC. I don't know what that's like.
So, what happens when it's raining? You just use some newspaper.
Vents.
I just put the blower on just to make sure it doesn't fog up. But no, I have to crack my windows.
Okay.
Yeah,
for sure.
Todd was doing that, and he had a towel over his shoulder because it was monsoon.
Man, I can't imagine being in Florida and not having AC in one of those.
Yeah,
I mean, I know it sucks out probably 30 or 40 horsepower from the car by running it, but I mean, if you're sitting in traffic, you want some at least some lukewarm air.
And no matter how much you do a shake run, something, unless you're James and his shit's dialed in, but like for myself, I did a shakedown run.
I'm knocking on wood right now, buddy.
I as soon as we got to the point at 5:30 in the morning, all of a sudden I'm popping like a fuse. There's a piece of crap ceramic fuses, and my windows won't roll up or down. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm putting I'm almost running out of fuses, and I'm like, come on. And it's gonna rain. We're gonna hit. We did hit tornadoes and stuff, and I'm like, what the hell? No way.
What am I doing?
Come to find out, if you have your car off with your headlights on and you try to run the windows up, I think there's too much load.
Okay.
And it just kept on popping the fuses. So every time I was driving, I was like, just down just a little bit, down just until I felt comfortable enough. And the shitty thing too is, I mean, nowadays they use those, we use the little fuses that look like roach eggs, the old ones. The plastic ones are just shit. You need really good ceramics fuses, but I think that was it.
Well, here's the thing: is you're busting me on speaking monotone, but did Kevin have a good time? Because the guy never gets excited. So I'm going to have to ask, Kevin, did you have a good time?
I did have I had a great time.
It was great. It was fantastic. Yeah.
So was this all? I mean, obviously, we talked about it's all air cooled, but was this all 911s, or was there any?
No, there's
So
914.
914. Oh, so I
Yeah.
got a
See,
chance.
Matt, you
I
can
got
get
a
in there.
chance. I can get there. I got a
You
chance.
can.
Was there a 912? There's some 912s.
There was some 912s, 914. There was a Safari.
There was a
Mhm.
Right?
356.
Stuff's cool. Yep.
Nice.
356s.
I mean,
yeah,
those,
it was.
I will tell you, those guys. The 914, he had a 4-cylinder, I think, and I think he was running in like the back.
Oh yeah, 1.8.
yeah.
I mean, listen, the 1.8 914 I think puts out like 110 horsepower. It's not,
That's more
So-
than 912,
it's true.
right?
So it was good times. And he is correct. I don't get excited at all, but I was kind of stressed out with the rain, and I'm so OCD. I'm having water leak, and I'm trying to fix it with silicone, and they can tell. Like I was like,
He was stressing us out.
Well, plus, I mean, on your commute, I mean, you're driving from Florida. You're with a group of guys. I know the group of guys you're with. They don't go slow, and you're down on power. So that's gotta be nerve wracking alone.
Well, the shitty part is my wife actually was going to Indiana, so she rode with us in her car, and she was going about 10, literally pushing people in pouring down rain. And
Wow.
thankfully, Todd does not have AC, so he had to slow down. I couldn't even see his lights. And my wife is just, and we're texting each other.
maniac.
I'm not texting my
Yeah.
wife. I'm texting all the other guys going, I
Sorry.
fucking hate driving with her. I cannot stand this shit because she drives like Dare Earnhardt,
She's
and
such
they're
a
like,
bully.
get it done. They're like, I fucking love her. And I'm like, you guys have no fucking idea. She's flashing lights, and I'm like, oh my God. And all I can think about is there's going to be so much rock chips on her car and shit all over her car. And I did tell her, hey, when you get to Indiana, I think she hit Louisville first. I said,
It's
make sure you watch the car.
Mhm.
Oh, that's Louisville?
Yeah.
Louisville. Yeah. Louisville.
Well, now I got James and Casey corrected. And let's see it.
Fucking
So,
Florida people.
I'm from
We
Florida,
ha-
man. I'm with you,
I'm
buddy.
not from
I
Florida, so
I am. I'm a cracker.
but it was, I had a good time. Definitely would like to do it again, and that was kind of, I don't know.
I
my
want a
take.
video of your lovely wife behind you, like we saw in those Porsche memes where she's going.
I mean, they took off. The two guys took off, and Aaron let them just go. And they were going like $150, and they're like, "Thank goodness Aaron didn't take off with this, because she would have just." And I'm like, man, there was billboards and awnings flipped over on power lines because we had just passed a tornado in
Mhm.
Georgia, like Macon and stuff. So one day I have to tell you guys about a story where my wife made us go to Indiana, and literally it was tornado warnings.
Yes.
Where
No one volunteers to go to Indiana. They're made to go to
Yeah.
Indiana.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yes.
It's all
Was she in the
corn.
AMG? Is that what she was driving?
Yeah, she was driving AMG. Yeah. So,
Anything else to add to Ruckus?
No,
Full-on
I guess
experience.
you're going to another one, right? Pretty
Yeah.
soon?
The Rally King.
Ruckus
Ruckus?
in West
Ruckus?
Virginia. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. That's next week. I
Is that
haven't
air
done this
cooled
one
as well, I
before.
guess?
Yeah, air cooled, but I don't know if it's all. I don't know. I saw
think
a
it's
couple
air
people
cooled.
preparing some water cooled, but I believe it's
Oh.
supposed to be air cooled.
Mhm.
What days is this? I'm available.
It is in Snowshoe, the resort there, right?
Yeah,
Snowshoe,
Of course, yeah.
and then
Guess the
so
friends
I
of the
guess
house.
that's like 3 hours or so from Charlotte, 3.5 maybe.
It's about an hour and a half north of Roanoke. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll take us 3.5 hours to get there. But,
Yeah, that was quite a drive
looking
for
forward.
me. That was
I've heard
14 hours.
I've heard the roads are amazing in West Virginia. So I mean, we
Mhm.
touched it
Mhm.
in Ruckus, and they were nice and not populated.
Yeah.
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 So
14 hours in an SE, Kevin. That's. I mean,
with
after
no cruise
about-
control,
about after hour 8, I bet you were ready to put a bullet.
never
in your head.
bothers
No.
me.
no dynamic cruise. You're just a badass, James. I don't know what to tell you.
No,
Okay, I'm
no,
just.
it's
it's
just-
just-
James. It's James.
Is that how I
I-
drive like this?
Yeah.
I will say, hey, when
Double
you have a little
dicking it.
when you have a little Momo steering wheel on the way back, like if anyone's ever drove from from Georgia to Florida, it's boring as shit.
Yeah.
I was playing drums with I didn't care because I had to keep myself occupied. I'm listening to ZZ Top and I don't know, Metallica. I'm going to town because I was just bored out of my fucking mind. But great time. So I'm looking forward to more in October. I have a rally to go to, and then we have Farron to go to, which we'll all be there as well.
No, I take it
Yeah,
you're
so-
trailering the car to you're shipping the car to Farron though, right?
I'm going to try to,
Yeah.
You little bastard.
Come
but
on.
I don't know, like
Why?
Why what?
why
Why-
wrong with
He usually
Why not
ships
try
the
it?
car.
because I'll be driving at another rally.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
2
right.
weeks before
Oh
that.
gosh,
and then-
Ooh, can't hide money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
you guys do know I sell scooter parts, right? Just
Yeah.
Yes. Lots of scooter parts.
And Porsche
Lots of
parts
scooter
now.
parts.
So
And Porsche
but-
parts.
Yeah.
yeah, so what was that? So Ruckus was my third. I have 3 more to go for this year.
no, you have 4
Damn.
more.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4, right? You have Ruckus. You have 3. Okay.
Yeah,
left.
3 more. Yeah.
Math. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
I may have, gone overboard this year. I think I'll probably pull it
man,
back
you
a
went
little bit
overboard
next year.
last year. What are you talking about? You were doing the same shit last year.
Yeah, you did 4 last
Actually,
year, right?
this year, no, because think about it.
Yeah.
You did Amelia, you did Gator Crawl, you did
Mhm.
Hill Country, you did Ruckus, you're doing Ruckus, you're gonna do the other one in
Targa.
North Carolina, Targa,
Mhm.
and you're doing
Farm.
Farm. That's 7. Do you even work,
Okay.
James?
Yes, I do. I do
Man, it
work.
must be nice.
I do work. Just,
He's doing the Joey Manziel.
no, that's how I drive. That's how I drive.
Well, listen.
No, that
when-
was 2
when you-
penises in your face.
in James's defense, all right, James's defense, when you work hard your entire life and you get to an age where you can collect Social Security, you don't necessarily have to put in as many hours each week.
Yeah.
So it gives you time to do
Yeah.
stuff like this.
Well,
True.
yep, the Model T getting up these hills is a bitch. It's a true momentum car.
So Casey,
Anyway.
you hosted your first rally.
Speaking
you
of.
hosted it.
Yeah, screw
I did.
attending one. Casey decided to have his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I don't have any friends. I'll create my own.
That's it.
That's the whole idea.
You're always invited to your own rally.
That's kind of. I'll tell you, when you do your own rally, it's not the same as attending for sure.
It's work.
But it is. But I put this one together. Started 6-9 months ago. Had Aaron from Farron that helped me put the initial stages together. But this was Flat 6 FSI rally, I called it, for engine owners of Flat 6 Innovation Engine. And it was good. It was down at the Ridges in Hiawassee, Georgia, on the
Mhm.
lake
Oh,
there.
nice.
Beautiful lake, obviously beautiful area. It's just it's right in the area that we all know that we do Farron and all the good roads. But here's the group. This is up in Helen.
Can you zoom in on that
at,
picture there?
It's
Am
not
I
a
in
great
there?
one.
It's not a
Yeah.
great one, no. But this was in Helen at Hoffer House, which is a cool spot, right on the river, German food. It was great. Let's see. So we arrived on a Sunday. First drive day was on Monday. This was our lunch stop there. Had a fantastic day. Did about 275 miles. This picture, all the cars lined up. These are all Flat 6 cars. This was at the owner of Flat 6 at his what he calls Skunk Works, which is up in Monroe, Georgia. This was at his personal shop.
So every
it-
one of these cars has had a full-on
Correct.
motor rebuild
Correct.
to
Yeah.
their specs, just like you did.
No. So
Okay.
Jake has different basically stages of engines. You can do, I don't know, stage 1, stage 2, track performer, or all the way up to the R series, which is what I did, which is the completely custom kind of basically a one-off build for that specific person.
Okay.
So some of these guys have kind of what I don't mean to use the term base as in like bad, but kind of like the base build that he does. I'm the only one in this series that has an R engine.
Well,
But some
and not to cut you off, but I was perusing his website after you started because I'd never heard of Jake or anything, and I've got to know his product from you going through your experience. And when I was looking on there, because listen, you never know when something is going to happen. So, you can go as crazy as you did, but some of his entry level, you want to call it, base. I think there's one called the street track or whatever,
right.
are fairly affordable. It'll take take a 3.6, like I have a base up to a 3.8, and it's built for durability, and they're fairly affordable when you price, Porsche engines. So
Correct. So the base, if you get a Stalker or a Stalker Plus or Stage 1, whatever, that is really as basic of an engine build as you'd want, meaning that you get Nicky cylinders, you get fixed IMS, but he won't do an engine that is not basically brand new. So you always get like a brand new alternator, you get all the new water pumps, you get new injectors, etc. So on the surface, it looks like his engines compared to what I'll loosely say is his competitors. His engine looks more expensive, but those guys tend to reuse items, and he just won't do that. He's put his name on the line. He wants a completely new engine basically when it goes back into your car. So on the surface, it looks more expensive, although still more price conscious than what I did. But yeah, there are different levels to what he does.
well, it's the whole while you're in there. I mean, if it's out, if it's already out of the car, you're stupid not to change the alternator and the water
Right.
pump. I mean,
Right.
it doesn't make sense to put it back in with little parts.
And there's always project creep, as Kevin knows from his quote unquote rebuild. You get in there and you're like, well, shit, the engine's already out. Maybe I should do new headers. Maybe I should do this fancy new intake. Maybe I should do an X pipe. Maybe I need to do mufflers. I need to do all this other stuff. So there's obviously project creep that can drive the price up, but you don't have to do that, certainly. But anyhow, this was out of his shop. Not a fun drive, really, going from Hiawassee up to Monroe. I don't know. It's awesome to go to his shop. We got to see all his like military vehicles. He's got a couple tanks and armored personnel carriers and a lot of old World War II Volkswagen vehicles that are.
We know where we're going.
Yeah, he's got them all the way
zombie
through the
apocalypse.
lineage. Yeah, he's ready for it for sure.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to see all that stuff. You see where he cut his teeth on Volkswagen stuff. He's got a Volkswagen with 220 horsepower or something engine that he built. And while that's not a lot of quote unquote horsepower, in a VW, it's a fair amount. But anyway, it's super, super generous of him to kind of loan out the shop so we could play in it, had lunch, whatever, played in the shop. And then it's the drive just from there, from Hiawassee up to Monroe kind of sucks. Lots of construction, traffic going around Atlanta and whatnot. But anyhow, and so that was on the Tuesday. Wednesday was another drive day. Unfortunately, we had kind of a poor outcome. On the first run of the day, you can see, you can play like finding a Porsche in this picture here. This was down outside of Reliance.
Wow.
And this is down a ravine, and that's this car. This gentleman ran out of talent, for lack of a better phrase, trying to keep up with Josh. You all know who Josh is. Runs for Dragon Rally, Josh. Who, by the way, shout out to Josh. Fantastic maps and routing. The Monday route was phenomenal. Tuesday getting to the shop was no choice but just to go there. And Wednesday, the game plan was phenomenal. This was actually on a new road that he added just, I think, last fall. But it was fantastic road until we had this off. But here you can see, I mean, it's did some damage here. You can go to the next one. That's, just
Everything's
shitty.
great until it's not.
Yeah. This guy, fortunately, is fine. But certainly ran out of talent on this drive, and it's unfortunate turn of events. But
Yeah, that's a shame. It's not a shame
so
about those
this-
lobster claws though, because those are ugly.
You know what?
So,
I think on a black car, I think they look good.
Do
What's
you
up,
know
Kev?
what happened? Other than like the talent thing, was the road wet, or did he just go in too hot? Or
The weather was beautiful. It
Okay.
was mid 80s, so like perfect, like tarmac temperature. I'm
Shit happens.
not being disparaging, but he was trying to keep up with Josh. And Josh's rule: if you're in my mirror, I can go faster, right? So
Mhm.
if you're in his mirror, he's gonna go. And he was in his mirror. He went all the way up, and then coming back down. You gotta know how to drive if you're gonna drive at pace.
Yeah.
This
And
gentleman,
it goes back to what we were talking about on the air cooled earlier. Is
Yeah.
you just got to be comfortable. So
in this
there's
gentleman,
nothing wrong with dialing it down, even if you have
Correct.
to let a few people go.
Yeah.
Don't ever feel bad about that. The
Well-
first thing that anybody says is this is not a race.
Mhm.
And
Correct.
it's not. You're supposed to be having fun, and you need to get back in one piece. So it's terrible to see this.
And
this-
you don't want to break your car because you want to drive home.
Yeah.
most importantly, right?
Yeah.
This gentleman was from a flat state, and this was the first time he'd been in the mountains.
Wow.
And unfortunately, I think his ego got the best of me. I also believe that the car was not quite prepared for the event. He was a late addition. There was a lot of, as we cleaned out the car, a lot of excess items in the car, which is, again, not conducive to, this type of driving. So I probably could have done a better job in making sure people clean out the shit out of their cars so they don't have it sliding around like an extension cord.
What
yeah,
was
great
the section of
swag.
the road you were on? Was it really, really tight twisties, or was it sweepers where you were at when this happened?
No, this is pretty tight stuff.
Okay. So I'm just
Yeah.
wondering, these cars are so, if you don't know what you're doing and you brake in the middle of a corner or you get snap oversteer, I'm just wondering if it's a situation like that.
Yeah.
So to my understanding, again, this is secondhand, but Josh was able to see it kind of happen in his rear view, and the front end just pushed.
Yeah.
So to me, that says that you're just coming in too hot. You turn the wheel, and the car doesn't turn.
Doesn't go.
The tires were 7 or 8 years old, which again, this
That's
is
too old, man.
Well, no,
I agree.
you've got to be essentially
Yeah.
doing a track inspection before you do any of these.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
again,
first thing.
this was put out in my emails out, but he was a late addition. So,
Yeah.
but you turn the wheel and the car doesn't go. At
Listen, it
that
happens to all of
point-
us. Our first year at Farron is the first time I'd been in the mountains like that in the 911. I've been in the mountains 1,000 times in my FRS, but not, And so the very first road that we took, I took the first corner too hot and, went right into the other lane. And luckily I caught it, scared Stacy to half to death, So it can happen to anybody,
Absolutely.
And if you don't have that experience, you don't know what that feels like to check yourself before something like this happens. And the other thing, this road, there's no safety margin on the outside, right? There's no guardrail. At the end of the curb, it's down. So if you drop a tire, you drop half a tire, you're going. So, Josh has a great safety meeting beforehand, right? Like, drive within your limits. You could always go slower. No one cares. Don't touch, as he calls it, the mustard and the mayo. Stay off the yellow line, stay off the white line. Paint is often slick anyway, but stay off of it. Stay in your lane. Don't mess around. There is no margin of safety. Like, no one wants to be reckless. No one wants to be dangerous. So stay within your lane. And unfortunately, it got out of
that's a
control.
shame.
On another note too is you could be the best driver at the track and you can have, super fast times. But if you don't know the roads, sometimes you do have to check that ego because, it's happened to people in our group too. They've phenomenal drivers at the track, phenomenal drivers, period. But if you go to a place, why do you think Formula One drivers are constantly like just in their mind? They know each turn, they know at those speeds. It's a fraction of a second that can cause that. So I think people, and the group leader, he knows the roads. And I see
And
that
you can
often.
tell.
Yeah, and I see that often with a lot of guys is that, they're just I guess the testosterone kicks in and they want to, I want to drive fast, and they don't even know the roads. Even if they did, you go there once or twice a year, that I don't think that's still enough for you to know the roads. So
And
I
I
think,
kind of feel that I fall into that bucket too, because I'm a track guy, right? And I feel at least I'm a halfway decent track driver, but on these, it's a different skill set for being in the mountains. And when you don't necessarily know the next corner that's coming up, you don't know if it's a closing radius, if it's opening, you don't know if it's off camber, and that requires a certain margin of error built into your driving. And if you don't know your tires, you don't know how the car reacts under those conditions, then you can get yourself in trouble.
And when I say that my car is dialed in, half of that is me being completely familiar with what it can and can't do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And if if you're driving at a pace or under conditions in which you can't make an immediate stop emergency maneuver, then you're driving too quickly on the road.
Yeah.
And
Well, and at the end of the day, man, well, like we've always on, you're on a track. Okay, that's one thing. These are still public roads.
Right.
And so you want to go at a fast enough pace that you're having a good time, but you don't want to go to so fast that, you can injure yourself or, God forbid, injure someone else.
the track has runoffs. The track has a lot of safety things that
absolutely. You're not just running off into the grass here.
Right, or off the cliff. So that's one thing that I think, when you're looking over a cliff and there's no guardrails. We saw that over when we were in Virginia, James. There was a lot of times I was like, oh shit, this is pretty, that's really steep over there. And you see it a lot over to the Dragon's Tail. These guys, they get nuts. And it's just, I think we're just beating that horse, but
But
let's talk about your swag, Casey. It looks
yeah,
pretty
so
cool.
here's my swag bag. I was pretty proud of this. Of course, y'all had some input on it, but here's the bag. Did a couple, tumbler glasses, or rocks glasses rather, and a couple coffee mugs, a T-shirt. I was pretty proud of this. I think everyone liked it. Being a bourbon guy, I definitely provided a bottle of bourbon each evening for the group to enjoy, which I'd like to expand in the future. I have a couple ideas on how to kind of bring more of my personality into it and the things that I love. But this was year one swag bag, and I was like I said, I was pretty proud of it.
Did you get good feedback? Are people looking forward to the next year? And
everyone
have some
said,
friends that we want to bring, or
everyone said they wanted to come back. They wanted to do it again.
Cool.
Already there's been a couple that have hit the website and basically signed up, so that's exciting. But everything was positive. The resort, the Ridges, had a bit of a 70s vibe, but was nice, and it was right on the lake. So it was beautiful. Close
Are you
enough
guys could expand it to other people other than just his cars, do you think?
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I don't know yet.
Are we getting an invite?
You all are always invited. But I think that I'm nervous about expanding it too far because I did have to lay out all the money up front.
Right.
So I'm scared about the finances of it. I made it out this time. But it was, it was close financially. But the food was good. I think everybody was happy. There was no restriction on, food or drink. And I think that, Aaron, when he put together Farron, last year when we kind of did the, buy in for one price and everything's taken
Yeah, all
care of.
inclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, I took
Mhm.
that same model, and people really, really enjoyed that.
Mhm.
And I think it's a great idea, and I will continue to do that as long as it's financially feasible. Because people, you come once you show up, the only thing you're paying for is gas. So it was a
Mhm.
lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was
Well,
great.
kudos to you for taking the leap to actually pull it off. I mean, that first step is the hardest step. So, congrats.
Thank you. I mean, like I said, I had help. It's not like I did it by myself. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's good, man. Well, when you did the all inclusive route, I was concerned that you might get in a situation where you didn't break even. So I'm glad it all worked out. So
Yeah, and I was again worried about the same thing. Thought
Mhm.
that maybe some people would take advantage, but to be honest, the people that decided to take the leap with me is what I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah.
These were fantastic people. I mean, there was engineers, lawyer, uh, one gentleman who helped build hydroelectric plants. I mean, we're talking to me very successful people that I aspire to be like. And so you don't know that when they just sign up and it's just an email address and a name.
Sure.
But by the time we all got together, start talking, I mean, these are people that, were it to be a catastrophe financially, they're the type of people that would help out.
Yeah.
And so it was fantastic.
Cool. That's awesome, man.
Good for you.
And
You
let me add one more thing in there. I talked about going to Jake's what he calls Skunk Works or whatever. But Jake came back to the hotel. He stayed a night with us. He had dinner and breakfast with us. Um, Again, fantastic conversations with him. Being able to dive deep into engine design, the way these things work, the rationale as to why he's designed things the way he has, is and was a super cool thing to be able to do. It's not very often that you get to talk to truly the engine designer or the mind behind some of these, cool things that we like so much. So having him hang out with us and drive with us at least one day was also phenomenal.
We need to have him on the podcast.
That's awesome. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
really
he
cool.
would definitely do it. Yeah.
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 So, did you get a new watch, Casey?
Ooh, I did. You can pop up this picture. I think I mentioned it last time.
Look at that.
The last show I was on I've been on the hunt for one of these. But here's a SKX 009.
009.
This is a J model.
He's got the legit. He's the only one out of the four of us that has a legit.
Yeah, it is legit. I've been searching and kind of bugging our sources for a while to find me one of these. And it's damn near mint. It's also different than all my other ones. I don't know if you all have one like this, but it's an Arabic model. So you have the days that are in Arabic, which I have it up here just because
I see that.
I don't know. I think it's different, and it's different than all my others. But super cool watch. It's like I said, it's damn near mint. It came with the Oyster band as well as the rubber and the box. So it's kind of like whatever box set or
And
whatever.
for
But
some of the people that don't know, we say J model. It's actually made in Japan, which is kind of a lot of people put these for sale, and they are made in Malaysia or Indonesia. They're selling for the same price. So to find one that actually is made in Japan, and you have to have in Japanese internals, and it has to be made. So I bought mine in Japan. I wasn't physically there, but I bought it from somebody in Japan, stating that it was, made in Japan, when in fact it was made in Malaysia. And then we kind of went on this tangent, and that's where subsequently James and Matt both found out that, wow, I guess we don't. And it's actually the picture that I have here. Let's see if this one says, no, it doesn't say J model on it, but that's the picture that my my manager got me this, because I think he heard the podcast for Christmas or something like that.
So you can tell it by two ways. One, the Malaysia model will not say 21 joules under the divers, and it doesn't say made in Japan at the bottom. So
So I'm pretty proud of this one. It's got a lot of weight to it. This watch, it feels like a nice build.
Yep.
So I'm happy
That's
with
cool.
it.
You would
Yeah,
really
Congrats, 'cause
enjoy
I
if
know
you,
it. I know that you've been looking for a long time. So
Yeah. So
if you like that watch, Casey, you would really enjoy one of their new GMTs like I have. Like I have the yellow because it's very much it's very same feel, same weight. So
yeah.
well, I'm
Yeah.
going to
Is it
say
Japan?
that right now the Seiko lineup is on fire.
it
But
is.
speaking of Seiko, so my business partner Brandon just got back from vacation in Japan. And he brought me back this nice little
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Seiko museum from Ginza. So he went and visited. He purchased his first Seiko in Japan and was nice enough to grab that book for me. And I got to say, it'll be some really nice reading. There is some really
That's cool.
great.
Did he get a Grand
History.
Seiko? Is that what he got? A Grand Seiko?
There's Grand Seikos. There's alarm
No,
clocks.
but did your business
There's
partner get a Grand Seiko?
no, he did
Oh.
not get a Grand Seiko.
What do you
Okay.
get?
World timer?
Yeah.
No, GMT. Sorry, GMT. Yeah,
And
super
James,
sharp.
you have a new
but-
watch too, right?
Yeah, but I talked about it last week.
Oh,
Oh,
It hasn't come off the wrist yet.
Yeah, he's still
did?
wearing it.
yeah, it hasn't
Oh.
come off the wrist, but I do have one on its way, and it should be here in about a week or so.
well, I have a new watch, but it's not new to me. It's just new to the podcast.
Mhm.
So I have. You guys are gonna love this retro. Let's see. Let me zoom
Yes.
in a little bit here.
Yep.
So I gotta zoom in.
I
Zoom
love that
in.
watch. I remember when you
that's
bought it. I was jealous then. I'm still jealous.
Yeah, so
So
it's gold.
this is Aka Alba,
Aka. Yeah,
and it's Seiko.
we need to keep
company.
that brand to ourselves. Actually,
Mhm.
Yeah, so this is 34 millimeter, reference number V as in Victor 733-5 Alpha 40, December of 1996. Only made in Japan, so these are only for the Japanese domestic market. 34 millimeter, I think I already said that. Really cool, like retro Art Deco style.
Mhm.
This one
Square.
has naturally the all original band. I haven't worn this at all. I just literally was like, well, let me pull out my drawer and see what I'm gonna wear, and it's a cool watch. Actually, I got a compliment today on it. My manager said, "Hey, that's a pretty neat watch."
It was pretty cool. It's
so
hot. I like it.
it's gold face. Are there any other colors on that?
So yes, there's orange, silver. Let's see here.
Is there red back there too, or is that just the?
There's the
So
glare.
that is red. That's
Yeah,
no,
so
that's
upper right.
actually
Okay.
it's not orange. It's actually red.
Yeah.
That's sharp.
And like I said, it has all the
I dig it.
everything's original, and it's pretty
I-
neat.
I like a lot of the, for lack of a better term, Seiko sub brands like the Aka
Yes.
and the Pulsar. I mean, I dig some of their stuff, and sometimes
like-
you can find deals because people aren't searching for those.
Right.
Absolutely. If you like color, those Aka models. Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah,
going
they-
to go ahead, Casey.
I was just gonna say Seiko seems to take chances with those. Like Seiko did that in the 70s, 60s, 70s, but
Mhm.
the newer stuff, they seem to really take chances with those
They test the
sub
waters.
brands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can still buy those colorful watches brand new too. Those Akas.
Yeah.
So they're still
So
making them,
going
but,
to
yeah.
the Ruckus thing, man, I tell you what, there's a lot of guys that are into tag. I found out just learning about Hodinkee and Tag Herrera,
Mhm.
Hodinkee, yeah, and all kinds of these guys were, I got this, and one-offs and a one of 25 or one of 125. I started searching.
Yeah.
And it was pretty neat to see what a lot of people, because a lot of our friends wore watches and stuff, and it's
Mhm.
really neat that people were, when they go to this rally, they're sporting off. And I will tell you, it's not Rolexes and stuff. A lot of it's just neat, cool watches. I mean, there's a couple guys that are wearing some Rollies and stuff like that, but most of the time, they're all, usually I saw most of them were under $5,000, $6,000 watches that were just neat old watches, 60s, 70s.
I
So
love
it's
that.
pretty cool.
I love
Well,
that.
I think our podcast is aptly named. The whiskey
Yeah.
watches and wheels. They all pair so well together, and it just has a certain appeal to
Can we
it.
talk whiskey briefly?
Sure.
Yeah, hells yeah.
All right, tonight I'm drinking some Lux Row. This is
Nice.
a double barrel, so 2 barrels that they bottled together. 12-year. This is before they were purchased by NGP. So to my understanding, this is a Heaven Hill, 2 Heaven Hill barrels that were aged 12 years. They were aged in 2007, so 12 years would be what, 19?
Mhm.
Fantastic. This supposedly was a distillery only purchase. I purchased it a couple years ago when I was visiting back in Kentucky. 118 proof, awesome bourbon.
Nice.
That
What's the price point on that?
I think this one was like $160, something like that. One of the pricier ones I've ever purchased, but I had a sample before I purchased it, and it was fantastic. I mean, it
Now,
was
is that
really
considered a blend?
excellent.
If it's from 2 barrels, is that considered a
No.
blend?
No. This would still be it's 2 barrels, but a blend would be like different
Like proofs and
yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
different. It could be different mash bills or
Okay.
whatever. But this is the exact same thing, just 2 different barrels brought together.
we haven't
James,
done a whiskey centric podcast in a while, so you need
No.
to pull
I
something
need to
together
do
there,
that?
Casey.
Okay, I
Yeah,
can
we
do that.
need to do something
Yeah,
with whiskey.
Do you
And
know
James,
what this
have
is?
you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you?
That's
it's
the key to your
key
heart.
to my heart.
That is the key from what is that bourbon? I have them
take it away. Take it away.
Oh, Blade and Bone. Thank you. So the 5
Yeah.
keys, they're A through E, and you can collect them. And if you send them in, they'll give you a little thing. But they're
Cool.
from the old Stellar. What is it? Stitzel-Weller distillery. Because they used to hang the keys on the doors. Anyone could literally walk in.
It's
at
like
any
a
time.
5 key. It's part of the Key Club or
Yeah.
the Upside Down Pineapple Club, I believe it is.
That's not true. Yeah. But the old Stitzel-Weller distillery, that's where that comes from. It's a cool story.
James got a new bottle too
Yeah.
that I've been looking for. I'm gonna see if I can still find it. So Jack
Oh,
Daniels
yes.
came out with a new collab with McLaren. Have you tried it?
Everyone's fucking coming with
Yeah,
collabs.
have you seen that, Casey?
Mm-mm.
Go get it.
Did you find
have
it,
it.
Kevin?
I did not.
No,
I
I
only
didn't
went
buy
to
They're
it.
two
gonna have
places.
that right NBC.
Oh, you didn't
store.
let me know. Let me know. I would have grabbed it for you. I didn't grab
Oh, okay.
it. I didn't grab it.
Well,
If you want it,
Get it.
I will
Get
grab
it for me because
I
I
will.
will see you in the. Yeah. So I've been
Yeah.
looking. So it's a Jack Daniels and McLaren. I'm sure it's just. I don't know. Just a bottle.
A cool bottle.
A
I
three,
looked at
three
the
times the
bottle.
price of a regular Jack Daniels, but yeah, I would like to try it out since I'm a big JD
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
Granted,
down.
I've
Gentleman
only
Jack.
Let's
drank
do it.
1 or 2
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
but
You're so scrawny.
oh well.
I know. All right, fellas, we got anything else for tonight?
No, that was pretty good. I like
Yeah.
it. Rally talk.
Rally talk is good stuff. So Casey, figure out what you want to do whiskey wise, man. Maybe we'll do it
I
next
can
week
do
or
it.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
all right,
I'll
guys.
break out some of my shit.
Yeah,
Let's
you
go.
should.
Let's
I
go.
gotta rely on you guys because I don't have any shit to break out. I don't own any whiskey.
Kevin, you actually had to drink it.
I will.
Okay.
I haven't stopped drinking. I just can't.
No, we're all
I
gonna
haven't
send it to
seen
Matt.
I haven't seen it.
We're all going to send it. We're going to have a, we'll
Yeah,
each
yeah,
send
yeah.
an individual one to Matt, and you'll have them all lined up.
My
Right.
Yeah.
daughter's so proud of herself; she can actually outdrink me now. I mean, which isn't hard to do now.
And
But
she's
now
very
it's-
little.
There's
Yeah.
no doubt she could outdrink me. I mean,
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys.
All right, fellas. Well, for those listening, real quick, just best place to find us: Instagram. Go to the top. Our link tree's there. It's got all the stuff, website, everything. So that's it. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace.
Bye-bye.